Good evening, everybody. Excited to be with you here tonight. And just talking all things baseball. So I hope everybody is doing well. All right, we've got I might have to switch my headphones here. Those particular headphones go crazy every once in a while. We're just going to come hang out and talk baseball tonight. And of course, the Mets won already tonight. So that takes care of the biggest thing that any Mets fan is concerned. Now all we can do is just hope the Braves lose again. MVP. So I want to just take some time because I'm not like really caught up on everything that's going on in baseball world. Currently, we'll give you a quick little scoreboard update, but this is just an opportunity to talk baseball. Just talking baseball, talk Mets, talk other teams, whatever you guys want to talk about. Super chill. I'm at home. We've got the live scoreboard going on here. There's only 3 games going on as far as I can see. Actually, it's just 2 now. The Cardinals-Angels game just ended, so it's Diamondbacks are beating the Yankees 4-0. Braves are trying to get their first win of the season. They are winning 5-2. Let me refresh this. Let's see. There. That's going to push those 2 games. Oh, come on. We're going to go do this. And this Diamondbacks-Yankees game is bottom of the 9th as well. So all of a sudden, Torpedo Bat's not doing so much. Amazing how that works. The world of the internet is a world of crazy overreactions on all sorts of things. So let's do some research here, Jonathan. By the way, good evening to you. So most losses to start an MLB season. Just out of curiosity, we're going to just learn some stuff here. So last year the White Sox started the year 3-22, but that's not what I'm actually trying to do. I'm trying to figure out most consecutive losses. This article is entitled it's entitled "What's the longest losing streak to start an MLB season? Braves fans can exhale." Atlanta Braves are off to a horrendous start, but it doesn't seem plausible to break the record. So the longest most consecutive losses to start a season. I know that's not exactly what you're asking, Jonathan, but let's start with this. And then we'll kind of try to dig up stats. Good evening. How's it going, KC? How's it going, Bryn Baker? Hope you guys are doing. We're streaming both vertical and horizontal, so we've got double stream going on. So the record is 21 games, 21 straight losses to start the season. That is does anybody know that team offhand without researching it? 1914 Boston Braves, 12-28, won the World Series. That's some good stats. Liking that, Jonathan. In 2005, Houston Astros started 15-30, turned their season around. Won the NL wild card. 74 Pirates started 14-30, made the playoffs. But I mean, when you start to think about it, it's like there's not a lot of wiggle room if you lose the first 7 of the season, for sure. So the team that started the season with the most consecutive losses is 21 in a row by the 1988 Baltimore Orioles. They won their 22nd game of the season, so they were 1-21. Imagine open up the newspaper to see the Baltimore Orioles record is 1-21. They ended up losing 107. So 55 and 107. That would have been right in the heart of Cal Ripken Jr.'s career. So I'm primarily keeping an eye on this Dodgers game, but we'll see if the Yankees have any sort of rally in them here. If they do, then they do. They've scored 3 in the 9th. Oh, check this out. Hold on, let's bring this up. This is worth doing. So we're just talking baseball here tonight. Anthony Volpe with a 3-run homer in the 9th. I don't know how to be for you guys. We'll try it.
4-0 Arizona.
Here it is. This is the Volpe home run. If you're watching on horizontal, you can
right
see
field
this.
And deep. Going back, Carroll. He's on the track. He's at the wall.
That was off of AJ Puck.
3-run home run.
Former Marlin, I believe.
And the Yankees.
Yeah, to check to see if it actually was a home run, and it was. So there you go. The Yankees hit a 3-run homer in the bottom. They're still down by 1. With all the talk of the Yankees, it's crazy like how some teams have played so many more games than other teams. The Yankees are just 3-1 on the season. This is only their 5th game of the year. So Blake Snell just got a Braves player on just an absolutely nasty splitter, splinker, whatever it is. I can't keep up with all the new pitches that they're inventing. Fastball, curveball, slider. I know those 3. And a forkball and a knuckleball. It's like the 5 things that I know. All right, so we'll let's get caught up here. This is let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys since we're actually following along here. So if you're watching on horizontal, you can see a little bit more of what we're talking about. Oh, Jason Dominguez strikes out. That is going to end the game. So the Yankees officially do lose. The record is 3-2 on the season. Torpedo bats did not help. Is Volpe using a torpedo bat? I don't know. So that means there is only 1 game going on as we speak, but we're going to not just talk about that 1 game. We're going to get caught up on really everything. I saw something today, which I'm sure some of you guys already realize and know. The San Diego Padres are 7-0. And so imagine being the Dodgers. You're this dominant team. You come out and you look at the standings and you're just tied for first place. That's it. All you are tied for first place. All right, so this game is the 1 game going on right now is Braves are up on the Dodgers currently 5-2. It's just the middle of the 4th inning. The Braves are 0-6. The Dodgers are 7-0. Now, part of this, obviously, part of the Braves record is just the fact that they had to face the Dodgers. OD death ball, tight spun slider with a 90-degree drop. There's so many. It's just crazy. It feels like I just don't know. I don't know enough about pitching to know how different these pitches actually are from each other or how many of them are just variations on the same pitch. You know, like a ghost forkball is still a forkball, right? But it's like, so I don't know, this customization, old fans don't do well with, at least I don't do well with learning the names of 10 brand new pitches that, oops, sorry about that. I just knocked the live stream over. So I don't think there's anybody who thinks that the Dodgers are out of a game when the score is 5-2 in the 4th inning. So, all right. Well, we don't need to stay on here the whole time. So let's do this. Let's do the MLB.com, and we're going to look up the standing. We're going to give you the standings. We'll start with the AL, as always, because it's the league that I don't care about. Let's go. All right, here's the AL East standings right now. Excuse me. Yeah, I figured Dodgers are at home. Blake Snell got off to a rough start, but looks like he's kind of settling in. All right, the AL East currently, with all the talk about the torpedo bats, the Toronto Blue Jays lead the division with a 5-2 record. Hold on, let me fix something here really quick. I'm going to try to fix a couple of these streams and make them slightly better. Hopefully this will work a little bit better for everybody here. All right. So the Blue Jays are 5-2 on the season, but pretty even on the run differential. Tampa Bay Rays are 4-2. Yankees are 3-2 after their loss here tonight. My pick to win the World Series, the Baltimore Orioles are 3-3, and the Boston Red Sox are 2-4. Redman saying Mets are trash after they win the game. You're a very emotional fan. I can appreciate that, Redman. All right. And wow, look at the AL Central. Wow, I don't know if I've ever seen this. Check out the AL Central. Every team is 2-4. White Sox, Guardians, Tigers, Royals, Twins. They're all 2-4. Conforto just goes yard for the Dodgers. Former Met Michael Conforto helping out the Mets by beating down on the Braves. Solo homer, first one of the year for Michael Conforto. He ripped it. I mean, it was a no-doubter. 108 miles off the bat, 419 foot, 24-degree launch angle. So there you go. It's 5-3. All right, so you can see right here, there's your whole AL Comedy Central. Looks like they're back. It's funny, they all got there different ways. The Twins got there by winning 2 games in a row. The Guardians got there by losing 3 games in a row. But I was just like, you have to almost do a double take seeing the Chicago White Sox at the top of the AL Central standings. That's absolutely crazy. All right. In the AL West, you got the Rangers. My surprise pick for the playoffs. Hey, got to start somewhere. Los Angeles Angels. They were my surprise playoff pick. Yeah, Marky V had a bad day, Redman, for sure. I mean, Pete Alonso was the hero. Seattle Mariners are 3-4. Houston Astros are 2-4. And remember, that's 2 wins against the Mets. Who beat up on? Who'd they play? Oh, the Giants. The Giants just took 3 in a row from the Astros. And then the Athletics. Not even the Athletics. Athletics. Athletics are 2-5. All right, then we go. Base hit for Will Smith up the middle here. The Dodgers are trying to mount a nice little comeback here on the Braves. All right, the NL Central, you got the Cardinals are 4-2. Cubs are 5-4. Cincinnati Reds, my other surprise playoff pick. They are not doing so well out of the gate. 2-4. The Brewers 2-4. Finally winning now that they're not playing the Yankees. And the Pirates are the Pirates at 2-5. We'll skip the NL East for a second. You got the Dodgers are 7-0. The Padres are 7-0. The Giants are 5-1. Diamondbacks are 4-2. And the Rockies are 1-4. And here's an interesting thing, right? Everybody was kind of assuming going into the season that the NL East was going to get 3 teams in, and basically it's just everybody fighting for one playoff spot. But the NL West is strong too. And it's very possible you could have just one wild card team that makes it out of the NL East. Yeah, now I know Pete mentioned, Jonathan, he was interested in the torpedo bats. Is there any reports that he's actually using one yet? The way he's hitting right now, he might not want to change. All right. And then your NL East, Phillies are 4-1. Marlins are 4-3. Mets are 3-3. Nationals are 1-5, and looks nothing better than seeing the Braves at the bottom at 0-6. Bryce Elder is pitching for the Braves, by the way. 5-3 Braves, bottom of the fourth with a runner on first and one out. Michael Conforto, the former Met, just hit a home run. The best lineup in the American League? That's a great question. So let's just, I don't know too much, but what team has scored the most runs in the American League? Well, the number one team with runs scored in the American League is the Yankees. They're at 44. Number two looks like a tie. It's the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Both have 32 runs scored. And then after that is the Tigers with 27. And then the Rays with 25. 4-pitch walk by Bryce Elder. So now Dodgers have runners on first and second. Orioles, yeah. I would have to say that that's probably where I land. That is a big part of why I picked them. Pete Alonso needs to stay on the Mets, Redman. Well, I'll tell you what. I've been pretty firm that the best way to see Pete Alonso in a Mets uniform next year is to see the Mets win a World Series this year. I think the Mets will be more likely to shell out some money for Pete should they win the World Series. Here, I'm going to bring Game Day back up on the horizontal so you guys can follow along there just a little bit. Let's go to the live. Max Muncy just flied out. So the best way to see Pete Alonso on the Mets next year and for a lot of years to come is for the Mets to win the World Series and then have the Mets win a World Series. I think Pete will be more likely to stay if he wins the World Series with the Mets. The Mets will be more likely to give a slight overpay to Pete if the Mets win a World Series as kind of a thank you and as a reward to him. So, yeah, Mookie Betts, he is amazing. I mean, I don't know if he has the years of service yet, but I do think that Mookie Betts is a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. Little squibbler out in front of the plate. Good play by the Braves catcher there. So the Braves do get out of that inning with only giving up a run. So it's 5-3 Braves going to the top of the fifth. There's still a lot of baseball left to be played in this game. Well, I appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight. Mets won tonight. They salvaged the road trip. 3-3 for opening season road trip. Go playing against two teams that you played against a ton in spring training. 100% that works for me. Yeah, we're not 7-0, but I'm not worried about that. I don't think the Mets were a clown show today. They've had some clown show games. There definitely have been some clown games that the Mets have played this year. I don't think today. Look, it's hard to win in baseball. Major leagues, it's hard to hit a baseball. It's hard to strike batters out. Everything in baseball is hard. All the way up to winning games. The difference between even the best team in baseball and the worst team in Major League Baseball is still relatively small compared to that gap. It's just a small gap. So The Marlins are kind of a Mets rival, even though the Mets don't really consider that a real rivalry. But the Marlins have always messed with the Mets, especially the last couple of years. The Marlins have just consistently just been a thorn in the Mets' side. Let's do that. Switch that view for a little bit. All right, let's do this. I want to look at some batting leaders. Let's Braves are coming up. Let's do stats. All right, anybody know? Let's look up some things. Home run leader. Anybody know who the home run leaders are? Some names you're going to recognize. I mean, you probably recognize all these names, but some names will be surprising on this list. Some will be a little less so. All right, the home run leader currently is Eugenio Suarez. He has 5 home runs for the Diamondbacks. Then you have, 6 players with 4 home runs. 6 players with 4 home runs. Tommy Edman of the Dodgers. Former Met. Yeah, former Met Wilmer Flores has 4 home runs. Very good, Jonathan. You are correct. Aaron Judge and Seiya Suzuki. Also Kyle Tucker with the Cubs. So Cubs are getting some power. And, of course, Anthony Volpe of the Yankees. So those are your home run leaders. Those are all with 4+ home runs. So 6 with 4, 1 with 5. And then the number of guys with 3, I'll just run through them really quick. Some fun names on here. Harrison Bader has 3 home runs for the Twins this year. Mookie Betts with 3. Jazz Chisholm with 3. Former Met. Andres Jimenez with Toronto has 3. Ivan Herrera, catcher for the Cardinals, has 3. Matt McLain, second baseman for the Reds, has 3. Heliot Ramos with the Giants has 3. Brent Rooker, now with Athletics, has 3. Kyle Schwarber has 3. Tyler Soderstrom of the Athletics also has 3. And Jordan Westburg of Baltimore has 3. So those are your current home run leaders. All right, let's do this. Let's do triples leaders. Nobody has more than 1. These are the players who have a triple this year. Crazy thing is, the players who have triples, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 14 players who have a triple this season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are catchers. 1/3 of the players who have a triple on the season so far are catchers. All right, you start guessing. I'll give you that one hint. I mean, there's some speedy guys on here, a couple that I know of, but I don't know if I ever could have guessed. It looks to be a lot of NL Central players. A lot of AL players. I don't think I see any Mets. No Mets have a triple yet this year. That's crazy, though. I never would have guessed 5 of the 14 players who have triples this year are catchers. All right. I don't see Yankees either. I think a lot of these are going to be tough to guess because it's not like Ellie De La Cruz. Yeah, there is a Red Sox player. You want to figure out the Red Sox player? This one you might be able to get. You've been tortured as a Mets fan. All right, here we go. I think it's Johnny DeLuca is the name for the Rays. Dingler for the Tigers. Jaron Duran for the Red Sox. Nick Fortes, catcher. Dingler for the Tigers is also a catcher. So Fortes, catcher for the Miami Marlins. Ke'Bryan Hayes for Pirates. Kelly, the catcher for the Cubs. Manzardo, designated hitter for Cleveland. Zach McKinstry for Detroit. K. Paris of the Angels, and he has an X next to his name. I don't even know what that means. What? Is he a pitcher? Why would you have an X next to your name? Anyway, Vinny Pasquantino, Pasquatch, has a triple. JT Realmuto, catcher for the Phillies. Julio Rodriguez has one. And is it Jake Rogers, catcher for the Tigers, and Noah Shanuel for the Angels. All right. All right, let's do all right, stolen base leader. Anybody know the current stolen base leader in the majors? This one makes sense, but you might have to go back a couple years in your memory bank. Might have to go back. Am I going to see the Mets on Friday? I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm streaming. So I live in Florida, so if I was going to actually go to the game, it would have been this series, but no time or money to do that right now. Got to grow the channel first in order to earn that. Stolen base leader. Anybody want to guess who the current stolen base leader is? And it's definitely not a Mets player. Starling Marte. No. Right division, wrong team. NL Central. Not Ellie. That's probably who I would have guessed, but I don't actually even see him. He just has 2 so far on the season for Ellie. That is a very good guess. Noah Shanuel. I knew it's something like that. You know, it's really weird because I'm used to saying all these players' names in my head or hearing them being spoken, but until you actually try to pronounce some of them, it's kind of a humbling experience. Pajes for the Dodgers just got hit. But it's not Ellie De La Cruz, but it's a different Cruz. If you remember back a couple years ago, there was an outstanding young player for the Pirates, O'Neal Cruz. And he was injured, I think, for a good chunk of last season. But O'Neal Cruz, he is your current stolen base leader. And number two in stolen bases, yep, the Pittsburgh Cruz. You are right, Redman. It's Fernando Tatis Jr. He's got 5. And his teammates, Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts, each have 4. So Shohei Ohtani is up right now, by the way, for the Dodgers. So if you're with a runner on, so if you're rooting for the Dodgers to lose. All right, let's do. Wow, the walks leader. Walks leader is on the Braves. I'll tell you that. The current leader in walks is on the Braves. I guess I should probably not officially share the screen for those wanting to play along at home. So if you want to guess, who do you think leads the majors in walks by 5? He has 13 walks. Number 2 is Colt Keith of the Tigers and Kyle Tucker of the Cubs. Yes, very good, Jonathan. Ozuna is your walks leader by far. 13-8-8. So Marcell Ozuna, Colt Keith, Kyle Tucker. And then just under them with 7 walks is Shohei, Matt Olson, and Ian Happ. So Juan Soto has 6. He's the next tier down from there. Ohtani lines a single to right field. And Pajes goes first to third. So Dodgers have a rally going here. All right, let's see. Let's find another stat here. How about we just do total hits? Total hits. The top 2 hits leaders are both on the Cubs. I think we've said both of their names already tonight. Top 2 hits leaders in the majors, both on the Cubs. Yep, Kyle Tucker and Seiya Suzuki, correct. And then 3. Now, I guess technically Fernando Tatis Jr., he's tied with Seiya Suzuki for second in hits with 11. So Kyle Tucker has 12. Seiya Suzuki and Fernando Tatis Jr. each have 11. Then coming down after that, here's your next 4. 2 more Padres after that. Manny Machado and Jackson Merrill. Jackson Merrill just signed a 9-year extension with the Padres, so they locked him up long term. And then Lars Nootbaar has 10. And who is this? Otto Lopez. Yeah, Otto Lopez had a decent series against the Mets. So those are your 10s. And then the Dodgers just lined into a double play. Betts lined out to the third baseman. He caught it and stepped on the bag. Andy Pajes? Kind of a base running blunder. All right, so we have that. Let's see. Some of these are going to get a little bit repetitive here. But your RBI leaders right now, again, lots of repeated names here. But you got Aaron Judge, Seiya Suzuki, Eugenio Suarez, and Kyle Tucker all have 11 RBIs. Then Wilmer Flores and Cedric Mullins have 10 RBIs. All right, let's go to the other extreme, which is what makes baseball so crazy. Who are the strikeout leaders? You have a 9-year extension with lots of millions of dollars. You'd have to make sure it was very incentive laden, Jonathan. Make sure there'd be lots of incentives in it. All right, the strikeout leader is crazy because it's also a name we've mentioned a bunch. And I don't know what that tells you for baseball in general. The strikeout leader is also second in hits. It's Seiya Suzuki, Jonathan. Yeah, Seiya Suzuki is the strikeout leader with 17 and second in hits with 11. So he's hitting 275. He's 11 for 40 with 17 strikeouts. So in 28 of his 40 at-bats, he's either had a hit or a strikeout. Braves get out of that inning, by the way, without giving up any runs. Dodgers threaten, but they are still down 5-3. Behind him is Rafael Devers. Devers only has 2 hits on the season. Nathaniel Lowe, is that correct? Yep. And then Jackson Churio, he had 5 strikeouts the first game of the season. So, and then Michael Toglia of the Rockies. So we've got that. Let's see. How do we determine? I don't know. I think you got to say how many at bats for batting average leader. It's so hard right now because some of these guys at the top, they've only played in like 4 games. So let's say 20 at bats. Yeah, 20 seems like a fair number of at bats based on this list. So technically, Edmundo Sosa is batting 600 on the season. So Edmundo Sosa, but he's hitting 600, but he's just 9 for 15. He's only played in 4 games. Wilyer Abreu of the Red Sox, he's hitting 500, but just in 6 games. If you're talking, he's a little bit behind on at bats, but Will Smith has played in 8 games, he's hitting 474, but with at least 20 at bats, 20 plus at bats, because that's where most of these guys fall. Most from that like 20 to 25 range. Your current batting leader with at least 20 at bats is George Springer at 429, followed by Fernando Tatis Jr. at 423, Jackson Merrill at 417, Lars Nootbaar also at 417. They're both 10 for 24 on the season. All right, and then we'll go one more offensive stat, and we're going to do we'll use the same, we'll do on base percentage. But we're going to stick with that 20 at bat. A lot of these names are going to be similar. So on base percentage is percentage of time you get on base, not so you get on with a hit. So with at least 20 at bats, your leaders there are Lars Nootbaar, George Springer, Nolan Arenado. I believe that's Christian Campbell. Yep. Christian Campbell, and then you got to skip a couple, and Fernando Tatis Jr. Your overall is Wilyer Abreu. Again, his on-base percentage is 650, but he's only had 14 at-bats in 6 games. All right, we'll do a little pitching stats here. I don't know which one. Let's do strikeouts. We'll do strikeout kings. All right, your top 3 strikeout pitchers. Obviously, they've all pitched in at least 2 games. They all have 18 strikeouts. You got Mariners, Nationals, and Phillies. Mariners, Nationals, Phillies. Anybody want to take a guess? 18 strikeouts. 3 pitchers are at 18 strikeouts. They have 12, 11, 13 innings pitched. So their K to 9 is like really good. Michael Harris just singled for the Braves, by the way. All right, here we go. Ready? Not Yamamoto. Yamamoto has 14. 14 strikeouts for Yamamoto. Seattle Mariners, Washington Nationals, Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies one, Mets fans should have no problem getting. It will continue to bring a tear to your eye. Albies gets a hit. Braves are the bases loaded here. Braves want to win this one, I guess. Decided to get one good win in. All right, it is Logan Gilbert for Seattle, Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals, and Zach Wheeler for the Phillies. We got our little coaches chat going on for our little league team. As a whole, it definitely looked like the team went up looking to get walks today as opposed to looking to get hits. I think you can chalk up Paul and Zion's base running miscues as a learning experience, period. I talked with Zion tonight about not being so aggressive the first couple pitches until you see what sort of defense they are running. Period. I want to work with the batting stats and see if we can actually see how players have done over the last 4 or 5 games as opposed to the whole season, as I think recent trends mean more and early success maybe skews the stats. Period. So always stuff to do when you're a little league coach. There's always conversations going on. Let's go here. Filter. All right. So, if you guys got anything else you guys want to talk about baseball wise, we can go over the basic news. So, the Padres being 7-0 is a big deal, especially since they are in the same division as the Dodgers. You know, if the Dodgers lose tonight after starting 7-0, they're still not going to be in first place in their division. So, apparently, it's the first time since 1969 that two teams in the same division have both been at least 7-0. All right. So, coaching, doing some coaching work. Just appreciate everybody hanging out with us. I don't think we're going to hang out too much long. I don't know if I can make it to the end of this game. Just wanted to hang out, have the casual baseball talk. So if anybody else has any other questions, let me know. But otherwise, I think we're going to end it for now. There's always more time. So I don't have a plan yet. So the Mets game, let me just cover this really quick. The Mets game on Friday is at 3:10. So what we might do is we might end up I might end up doing that game, but just do it on the vertical live stream. I'll have to see. Or I'll just do the first half of the game because it's going to probably be one or the other because I don't think I'm going to get through the whole game because my son does have a game on Friday as well. And apparently baseball doesn't like doing 1 o'clock games anymore. All their games are like 3 and 4 o'clock on weekdays. And that doesn't work for me. 1 o'clock works great. So not sure. Maybe we'll be live for the first half of the game and then kind of go from there. But other than that, I think that's all I've got for tonight. I'm going to probably go to bed here soon, maybe chat with the coaches a little bit more, and then we'll kind of see how everything goes after that. So with that in mind, appreciate you all and have a great night.